This episode is brought to you by the Marine Corps Association and Modern Day Marine. Ready to invest in your future? On May 1st, head to the Education and Employment Fair at Modern Day Marine. It's bigger than ever. Connect with top schools, employers, and transition resources all in one place. Whether you're planning your next move or just exploring options, this is for you. Free for active duty personnel. Register today at marinemilitaryexpos.com. That's marinemilitaryexpos.com. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, this is episode 191. This week, we bring you another installment of World of Wargaming with Halo Infinite team captain for the All-Marine Esports team, Gunnery Sergeant Matthew Springer. Gunny Springer talks to us about Marine esports and how the Marine Corps has embraced the professional development applications of gaming and war games. Certain circles throw around the term reps and sets so much it has become cliche, while giving the fuzzy eyebrow when the topic of video games comes up. Even supporters of wargaming tend to get prickly when talking video games. Gunny Springer is breaking the stigma that video games are just something Marines do on Libo while pre-gaming for a night out. He goes into the genesis behind the Marine Corps' esports team, how he helped recruit and develop its members, and the Marine Corps support for their participation in competitions by making an all-Marine esports team. The Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps even attended the Call of Duty Endowment Bowl 5 in Washington, D.C. to check them out. This was a fun conversation exploring how Marines continue to find ways to use their passion to hone their craft. Here is episode 191. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, thank you for joining us and your continued support. I am Vic. I'm here with Nancy.
Hi, Vic. Hey, everyone.
And we're really excited. And I am really trying to contain my wanting to nerd out right from the get-go.
No, do it. Nerd out.
I think I already kind of did. But we are here with Gunny Matthew Springer. He is at Marine Crypto Support Battalion, which is nerdy in and of itself, but where the nerd meter just really goes
to 11. It goes to 11.
They really do crank up to 11. He's the Halo Infinite team captain for the Marine Corps esports team. So, Gunny, thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here. Thanks for
this is so cool. Shameless plug. We talk all about this in Leatherneck magazine. And so I know you guys are all super familiar because everyone reads Leatherneck magazine.
Yeah.
And so you're already familiar with what we're going to be talking about. But the thing we are specifically, for those who aren't subscribers, shame on you, is we are going to be talking Marine Corps esports and specifically what the sort of the genesis of the program and then where you guys are going and what it is you guys do, because as we were talking in the pre-show, not a lot of folks know about Marine Corps esports. Yeah. So thank you again so much for being here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start talking some Halo. I can't wait to start talking wargaming. Wargaming from a professional development standpoint is something we here at the Marine Corps Association are extremely interested in, because not only are we talking emerging tech, but you're getting those reps and sets in without having to submit for a training area request and log reps and all
you
that
can control
stuff.
So much in a war game. You can take things out that may have been critical assumptions, and in real life, things that we do, you can just change in an instant in a war game.
100%. You're not constrained to physical locations, ammo requests, what you can pull out, dunnage reports, and like all of the things that come with, which I'm not trying to say you don't do, they have to do those things, but when we're talking reps and sets, especially when our peer competitors are doing all of these things, we're talking budget constraints, which our peer competitors don't have. How do you meet your metals and your mets? And, I think wargaming from the digital space has just gone so much further than this is what I'm going to do when I get my 12-pack and I'm on Libo, which you guys still do. Also, I don't encourage heavy drinking because
some of our partners and allies do wargaming. They allow a 2-beer limit.
Okay, nice. I like it. Okay, so Gunny, let's talk a little bit about you though. So like, what was your path to the yellow footprints? Like, what was the Marine Corps in the DNA? Is something you were always going to do, or did you just sort of fall in? Like, you're 18 years old and wanted to be a badass.
So, if you ask me at any given time, I'm very quick to say that being a Marine is like my life dream. I wanted it for a very long time, but it wasn't from birth. I think so. I come from a very law enforcement heavy family.
Okay.
Both
What area?
from Niagara Falls, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my parents met as auxiliary peace officers. That is how they met. My older brother is a captain in the Niagara County Sheriff's Correctional, and my best friend is a cop. So I came from that like selfless service. Like my family always, it was just like part of what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be, you didn't have to be a job carrying a gun. My older sister is a school teacher, but like I always got the sense, even though they didn't say it every day, that like you do something that gives back.
Yeah. Okay.
It helps move, society forward.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that phrase too.
Yeah. So I initially chose firefighter. I wanted to
Okay.
be, when I was a child, I wanted to be a
And
firefighter.
from a cop
so
family,
much.
that probably
Yes.
went over like a fart in church, huh?
I didn't realize cops and firefighters don't like each other till my best friend, Amber, till she became a cop and she let me know how much they can't stand each other. But when I was little, my parents did a good job of like maintaining a professional front of like, that's great. They let me dress up as a firefighter every year that I wanted to. They would buy me the stuff. They would let me set up firefighter obstacle courses all over the house.
I'm just learning about this now. I had no idea there was that professional rivalry between
Really?
the two groups. I'm so sheltered and naive.
Have you ever watched Departed? Departed with Matt
Yeah,
Damon.
you
The
know
whole
what?
thing, the rugby match. And he's like,
Oh my
fucking
god,
fire.
I missed all that. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
sidetracked us there.
No, it's okay.
Learning
But-
so much today.
So I wanted to be a firefighter for a long time. And I had a family member, technically a cousin, but because of the age difference, I saw him more as an uncle, I believe. My mother will probably correct me on the exact relationship, but he was essentially an uncle. He was a very prominent firefighter in his in the town next door. And he sat me down one day and he just wanted to kind of like peel back the layers, like, why do you want to be a firefighter? Like I wanted to do, and essentially he got me to the real answer. I was 11 at this time, and he got me to the real answer of like, I wanted to do like the brave, the exciting things, the things that that normal people don't want to do. I wanted to be like the small group that wanted to do those things. I want to run into burning buildings. I wanted to like take a fire hose to these fires and put them out. I want to climb on roofs and like chop it with an axe and let the
Right.
smoke out. Like I want to do those things. Very passionate about this. And he was like, I'm going to be real with you. We don't do those things very much anymore. He was like, it happens, but you will do all of this training for like maybe one of those calls a year. He was like, you know what firefighters really do these days? We are ambulances that are closer, that we're faster, but we have to do it in firefighter equipment because there's more fire trucks and fire stations than ambulances.
Right.
And there's never enough ambulances. But firefighters also, this is something I learned, is that all firefighters have to know how to do EMT stuff. And in a lot of places, EMTs kind of have to know how to help with firefighter stuff. And when he told me this, he's like, there's going to be a lot of CPR. He's like, there's going to be a lot of trying to resuscitate people. There's going to be a lot of like the baby delivery thing. It's a real thing. And he was like, so I just want you to be comfortable with like, make sure that you want to be an EMT too.
Managing your expectations.
Yeah. And I managed my expectations into being like, maybe this isn't for me. So I remember when I was 11, I changed from like, I had like I did some thinking and I was like, I think I want to join the military. And at this point, I'm 11. I didn't even know what the Marine Corps was. And I was ready to approach my father and tell him like, Dad, I want to join the military. And he's like, well, what branch do you want to join? I was like, I want to join the Army. And he's like, no son of mine's going to be in the Army. You're going to be a Marine. And I remember this thought because I'm like, okay. I said okay. It's like, okay. But what I was really thinking is like, what is a Marine? But from that point forward, like he introduced me to it, and like next thing you know, I'm seeing the billboards everywhere, and it's like you introduce to something, you start seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing the billboards, suddenly the commercials make sense, and I was just enamored. Like I was like this branch, like what they stand for, it appeals to me. Like everything from like those old commercials, like
Yeah.
they really hit. And I submitted for a shirt one day when I was 17 for like the free
Yeah.
send in a postcard, get a shirt,
Yeah.
like no questions asked, no strings attached, except for
Except
a
the
recruiter.
questions asked.
A recruiter shows up to my house one day on a Saturday, and I come downstairs and there's a Marine and Blue
Wow.
Delta standing there, and he was my mother still keeps in touch with him to this day. Gunny Cornell Proby. He was just standing in my front room like, you want to be a Marine? And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, and it's from the rest is history.
That's awesome.
That's
That
how I
is
found
a cool
myself.
story.
Yeah.
That's how I found myself in the Yellow Footprints. as you
How
say.
did your dad know that it had to be Marine Corps? What was his connection to the Marine Corps?
So he always wanted to be a Marine. And to make his long story short, essentially he missed the Vietnam War by like a year. Like he started the process. He was on his way, like jungle warfare school kind of contract, like one of those old contracts that we don't offer anymore, right? OC, like right out of OCS kind of thing. And essentially the war ended and the options suddenly whittled from, a jungle warfare school infantry contract to options that he was not comfortable with. And so he made a very tough decision to like, I guess I will, like, I'm going to pivot because but
Which
he held
kind
on
of what
to,
you did when you were 11. You pivoted.
I pivoted, yeah. But he held on to that like reverence for the Marine Corps for a very
That's
long
amazing.
time. And he, because I know the two of them are going to end up listening to this. He has always said like, your mother is the only good thing about me not joining the Marine Corps, because they
nice.
probably would have never met.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
but yeah, that he has held on to that ever since, and he is very influential, very directly influential in me joining the Marine Corps.
Well, shout out to your parents.
Yeah,
Shout out
both
to the
of them.
Springers. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And so what was the path then to cryptological? Because that's obviously a fairly new thing.
So it is new of being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
We have had SIGINTers since Vietnam. But my path was a unorthodox one. So I started as artillery, actually.
Okay.
My first 4 years, I was an artilleryman, both a cannoneer, but then because I scored slightly higher than the average, they made me go be what we called a gun doc, which just meant I had to go to a technician course too. So my first 4 years, I did that. At the tail end of it, I actually taught at TBS as what we used to call combat instructors, but now my understanding is to not conflate with like Marine combat training. They're called, I think, assistant instructors, squad. They're enlisted warfighting instructors, right? That's what I did here for 2 years or 3 years.
Doing the indirect fire package.
So yes, I did the indirect package, but I also had the honor of doing some of the like assistant instruction of going along with the students.
Oh, okay.
And like actually being along for their period of instruction.
Yeah.
So that brought me to the end of my slightly longer than usual first contract. And I was not sure I wanted to still be artillery. Like, I don't think I was like in the career planner's office. I was like, I think I want to re-enlist, but I don't love my job. I just like my job. Like I like being artillery, and my career planner typecasted me. He was looking through my record, just kind of looking for a hint of like, where do I push this Marine? Like, what do I do to try and help him stay in? And he saw that under my self-professed ethnicity that I marked as Chinese, because my mother was born in Taiwan. So I am half Chinese. And he was like, I see that you are Chinese, but you don't have a language skill on here. Do you not speak? And I was like, I speak conversationally, but I don't think I could pass that test that they offer. And he's like, well, how would you like to go learn the language? How would you like to like speak and like read and write? And I was very interested. And the part I didn't understand of this contract is that it also meant I was lat moving to this thing called Chinese Mandarin cryptologic linguist. I thought I was just going off to get a 2-year associate's degree because he was like, it'll be great. It's like college in camis. You're going to be in beautiful Monterey.
Monterey.
And I was
yeah.
like,
Sign me up for that.
The part I didn't understand was what's this part about Chinese cryptologic linguists?
So wait, did you have to take the D Lab, or were you?
I did
in?
take the D Lab. Yeah. I came over here to Maine Side Quantico.
Yeah.
I took it. I took the test. I somehow got a 110, and that was good enough for Chinese. And they were like, you have an aptitude to learn. Now,
Yeah, because that's a double-edged sword, because a lot of times, much in the recruiter vein, is you take this D Lab, you'll be fine, and then you'll get your language. And then people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go in for Spanish, and I'm gonna be the Colombian defense attaché. And then they're like, no, you're going to you're doing Russian, so enjoy Siberia, motherfucker.
Yeah. If you want one of those, what are the category 1 or 2, but you do better, they're like, why are we gonna waste waste French on you when you're capable of learning Arabic? Like, come on now, challenge yourself.
Enjoy Riyadh, sucker.
Yeah. So that's how I became a linguist. From there, I went to DLI. I was water hosed for a year and a half with language every day.
Full immersion, right?
By semester 2, they aim for near total immersion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What year were you there? What years?
The middle of 2014 to most of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, beautiful Monterey. But after the first semester, I didn't get to enjoy much of beautiful Monterey. I was a lot of the beautiful inside of a classroom.
Right.
But I look back and I'm like, that was one of those like pivotal moments in my career where I'm like, man, if I had went the other way, like I considered moving to be a firefighter. I was like, I could be a Marine firefighter, and I was this close to doing it. But I'm so happy that like that was one of those moments where like I could have chosen something that wouldn't have been the exciting, amazing career I've had up to this point if I had pivoted.
What was that like? Because I'm half Vietnamese. My mom sort of made this decision that I would assimilate better because she's like straight refugee. That I would have a better go if she didn't teach me Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And I only spoke English, so I wouldn't have an accent and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I say for many reasons, there's a disconnect, but one of them is we have a very hard time expressing truly how we feel because we're both, she's speaking her second language and I can only speak the one.
Yeah.
How was that for you once you had a full grasp of Chinese, speaking then to your mom? Like, did it open up a whole sort of like world of emotion and worldview that maybe you were limited growing up?
So not with my mother. My mother is one of the most impressive like bilingual people I know because her English has no accent. And when she switches to Chinese, it's like, oh, I forgot she's able to do that. But I think it opened it up with some of my other relatives.
Oh, okay.
Like
that's neat.
The generation of my grandmother and so both my grandparents had already passed by this point, but their siblings, like my great uncle, great aunts, I felt like I was able to communicate with them in a way that like my 5-year-old vernacular and vocab that like my Chinese was really cut off at just couldn't reach. Like suddenly it's like I was re-meeting relatives for the first time, and it was a great feeling. It came with a little bit of sadness. I'm like, man, like I never reached this with my own grandparents, and I also I'm guilty of like finding Chinese, like the language, to be a nuisance when I was younger. I'm guilty of a lot of that, like younger generation, like why, like it's just so hard to communicate with grandma, like that kind of thing.
Guilty of being a normal kid, you mean?
Look, as a Chinese American, that's not acceptable. I should have done better.
Normal, come on.
Yeah, but it came with a lot of like happiness of opening up with the ones that were still with us. So, and I'm very happy. I'm thankful for that. And there's oftentimes I think if I didn't have that personal connection to Chinese, that really helped push me through on those hard days at DLI.
Yeah.
And all I say is kudos to like the other people in my cohort, and really anybody who attends DLI that doesn't have like an emotional connection to their language, but they persist. Because I say this all the time. If they put me through Korean or Russian or anything that gave me the resistance Chinese gave me, I would have been like, send me back to artillery. Fuck this. I think I said that. There are people who were there with me who know I said that multiple times. I was about to be like, I speak call for fire just fine. I don't need this shit.
Call for fire.
The DLI T-shirt is like, you have the little breast emblem, and then underneath it's like, fuck this.
I think we could sell merch.
Yeah, totally.
We could make some money.
So that's great. So all right. So then, I guess rewind a little bit. What is your linkage then to esports and gaming?
Yeah. So was
this a Marine Corps thing? Like, is this? I don't want to get in trouble, Libo, so let me get an Xbox or.
So I was
always a gamer.
I was always my connection to video gaming was I always loved video gaming from the time my parents let me.
Okay.
And I do think it was one of those, like, I dumped more time into it, and I took it a little bit more serious than everyone else. Like, I played Halo. Halo was actually kind of, we could call it like the
gateway.
I can't say that. Halo has always been important to me ever since Halo 1, playing it when I was real young.
Dude, I remember I was in the Marine Corps, so I was either a first lieutenant or a captain when Halo 1 came out. And I'm just super lucky in the leadership that I had that I didn't get charged with being either UA or derelict of duty because it fucking owned my life. And actually, fast forward when I was Battalion XO, I was introduced to the Mass Effect series.
Very nice.
And that, I surprised the battalion still exists.
Yeah, so I always took
Full
video gaming.
confessions.
Yeah, so I always took video gaming a little bit too, like I dumped a lot of time into it. I did that extra like dwelling on it after I turned the game off. And I loved video games as a good pastime. It didn't stop me from playing sports or working out because I wanted to be good at, I also like playing like football with my friends kind of thing. Or I didn't like that my friends always lifted a little bit more than me. But it was a staple throughout my life.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see an avenue where I could have the Marine Corps and my enjoyment of video games intersect. I never even imagined that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah. And I think for good reason. I kind of touch on it in the article that I wrote initially, but
For Leatherneck.
yes.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Yes, for the Leatherneck.
That was the writing contest 2023, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I kind of touch on that, like, video gaming and introducing Marines to it purposefully sounds almost like antithetical, and I think like a lot of
or you're trying to get over, like, hey, I'm gonna find this loophole, so we could go fuck off.
Yeah, because it's like, video gaming evokes imagery of nerds that like mom's basement and like
empty Rippets or not Rippets but like Red Bull cans everywhere.
So
Cheeto cheese on your shirt.
It wasn't until my friend Ian Mills, Staff Sergeant Ian Mills, currently still in. I deployed with him. We were on my Syria deployment. We were on the same detachment, SP MAGTAF 19-1. We were the Defeat ISIS campaign, and I walked by his computer one time, and on his unclass, he's got a YouTube video up of an old Halo 3 like MLG competition, Major League Gaming competition going on. And I recognized that. I was like, I know what that is. So, I pull up a chair. I hardly knew the guy at this point. Like we had ground fought a couple times because he's a McMap instructor. I'm a McMap instructor. We talked a couple times, like at the smoke pit kind of thing. But like, this was the first time that it was like, this is a unique, like, you and I are 2 of 2 as far as like, we are Halo 3 fans in the middle of a deployment, right? And from there, like, friendship took off. I was like, I couldn't wait to talk to this dude, ask him like, hey, what's going on? Because there was also still like Halo competitions going on at that time. He was telling me about like there's a new one coming out, Halo Infinite, and we stayed in touch after the deployment. And I kind of thought that was that, right? And I vaguely remember some conversations about like, I'm getting this thing off the ground, like Marines playing video games on behalf of the Marine Corps. And I was like, yeah, fat chance.
Yeah.
Sure, Ian. Fast forward to 2022. He hits me up. He sends me a message. I haven't heard from the guy in a while. He's like, hey, man, I've got this thing going on. Halo Infinite had released at this point. I think we'd probably discussed that, the game, like, it's so exciting. But he hits me up and, like, he's like, hey, I want you to come out to this all-marine esports competition. And I was like, all right.
You're
rewind.
speaking English, but none of the words are connecting.
Yeah,
into
I was like, I haven't felt this sensation since DLI. I'm like, rewind that one and let me hear those at half speed. And he was like, it is going to be the first of its kind. All the armed forces are sending somebody, and it's going to be like the all marine boxing, wrestling, running team, golf team. This is the same shit. I need to put together a team. I've got a couple extra spots left over. And he even said, I was like, look, man, I don't think I'm not that guy. And he was like, I don't need you to be the guy. I need you to just compete. Like, help me. Cause he's like, I can bring out 8 and I want you to be one of them. And I was like, how could I not? Like, right.
Yeah.
So we went out there, we competed in, San Antonio, Texas, 4 days of professional Halo coaching from like a real professional coach, as well as like 8 hours a day of like nonstop grinding. Like, talk about taking something that's meant to be like a pastime and taking it way too serious. It was like, here we are, like 8 hours a day grinding.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and that was really like the first foray for Marine Corps gaming. Like, the other branches have really like established this already. They had all been doing it much longer than us in some way, shape, or form. But this was the Marine Corps' first shot at it. And it was also the DOD's first time to sanction. Like, this is a LAN event that the DOD is putting on. The Air Force was the sponsoring org for the first one.
Shocking.
Yeah.
As an Air Force wife, I can say that.
Yes, and you know what? They pulled out all the stops. It is still, I think back to that. I'm like, I can't believe that, like, that event, like, we had professional casters that still cast in like Halo Infinite now for other pro events.
For our listening, I see the thing.
Wait, for me, who doesn't know what that means.
It's not casting like you cast for actors.
Like broadcasting. Yeah. So they were so in the same way that
I saw your face.
In the same way that sports events have the two guys, whether it's these days it could be Tom Brady or whoever. Yeah. The same way that there are people talking over what's going on for the viewers to understand it and to get excited too. We had that at the event. There were
cool.
Lights, there was pyro, there was jumbotrons for this. There was a packed stadium of not stadium. It was a packed conference room. Okay, it was like a large, at least 150 people in the crowd, like watching these guys play up on stage. And I think back to that event regularly. I'm like, I can't believe that they did that for like an opener.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Well,
you go big, right? I mean, because we talked about this in the pre-show that there's just such a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sort of half-ass it before it has any real traction, it's going to die on the vine before it even really gets going, right? So.
Yeah. And the Air Force, like, shout out to Air Force Gaming. They did it right. Like, shout out to the Air Force for putting that on. Yeah. So, like, we owe a lot to them. And again, to reference some stuff that I also said in the article, like, they also foot the bill for us for our first time. Like, we had no budget. But it was so important to Air Force Gaming for the first one, to what you're saying. It was so important to them to get it right the first time that when Ian came back and was like, I don't have money for hotels, for flights, for jerseys. He was like, can you help me out with anything? And Air Force Gaming stepped up and was like, with this being the first one, like, we want every branch there. And they paid for all of what I just said, and they even designed our jerseys for us. And,
oh, wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like, so again, any other time I'll be like, motherfucking Air Force Gaming. But like, when it comes to that event, like, Marine Corps Gaming owes them a debt of gratitude for what they did for us on that first event.
That's
like,
awesome.
Well, and I remember, so when we got your article for the writing contest about that whole event, we all read it, and were just blown away. And as you may have listeners may already know, I'm way too old to know really what you guys are talking about. And I confessed earlier that the last time I played a video game was Mortal Kombat in 1992.
Which is legit. I mean, I said it then, I'll say it again. Like, that is a legit way to...
It's a good swan song.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what you're talking about, and I didn't really know a lot of what I didn't know any of that until we saw your article. And all of us, even, the old ladies in our group, talking about me, we were so excited. Your excitement came through in the article, and we thought, damn, this is cool. Because, I know my kids play, like my son plays Halo. I mean, so I just think this is all really cool. I love it. And I love that it's not playing to type like you talked about, Vic, that it's not, a dude in the basement with Cheetos on his shirt.
Yeah, no, and we talked also, there are so many inroads. Like, gaming has gone so much further than just like, hey, we're gonna recreate World War II battles in Call of Duty, right? And it's just one dude running through, just shooting everybody in the face. Like, well, you didn't really recreate. We had a previous guest on, Peter Tamte, from
6 Days.
6 Days in Fallujah, the video game, and all of the stuff that went into not only the realism, but like the homage and the honor that they were trying to incorporate into the game to not only keep it sort of in that professional development realm, not realism for some sort of superficial reason, but to really show honor to those who fought. You could see, like, you cannot run and gun.
Yeah.
And then there's so many takeaways from that. What have you seen as this has matured, like Headquarters Marine Corps support or command support or, I don't know, across the street over MCU and, all this talking about the Neller Center, standing up. Like, we're talking wargaming and we're talking, at the digital space and reps and sets, all that stuff. Like, what's sort of going from that moment and all of that energy and emotion that had, like, was there like a steep drop off and it's just through like being a Marine that you guys have able to keep it going? Or was it like, this is something that the Marine Corps should invest in and here we go?
So I think that the first event definitely helped with, in the same vein of like, when the first one's free, it's a lot easier to get addicted, right?
Yeah.
I think that MCCS...
Every drug dealer in the world is nodding their head right now, yeah.
So
you really think they're listening?
I hope that if...
Okay, moving on.
Viewers
people
viewers.
watch Training Day, maybe. Okay.
So if that event hadn't happened, I don't know how much MCCS would have been interested in the Semper Fit or like the All Marine program having esports. I can't know, right? But I do know that with the first one going the way it did, with Marines showing out through, like grit, tenacity, getting third place when everybody had written us off as like, an easy win, right? I think that it helped build momentum for the following year. Where like, then the next year that we go, they were like, all right, we'll take care of travel and lodging and per diem. And then like the year after that, now it is getting released in the MAR admins. Like there is an esports event, right? And
That's awesome.
Yes, like we're building momentum. Last year, we had a esports specific MAR admin come out. There was a little bit of a hiccup between what happened of it was supposed to be Call of Duty, but it had to pivot. But that was just a lesson learned. Like things don't always go perfect. And this year, my understanding is that there is another esports centric MAR admin that's going to be coming out to solicit, just to ideally spread the word via formal channels, and then also just let Marines know what games are we competing in. So there has, to answer that question about like every year we've seen a little bit more legitimacy, get a couple more things right to be a legitimate program, an all Marine program, and recognition. Like that's what we're trying to move towards, of like more recognition. Like the Commandant of the Marine Corps, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, they recently saw our Marines competing at the Code Bowl.
Yeah, we've got a picture.
Here we go, another shameless plug.
Leatherneck magazine. Yeah, we've got one of those pictures in the article.
Yeah, so we got the commandant looking over you guys' shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he presented that award at the end. It hurt everybody's heart a little bit that it had to go to U.S. Army Esports, but it was a big deal to us that he was the 4-star general that handed over that trophy. Like that's probably the highest level of recognition that we have ever seen, and we walked out of there. Sergeant Major didn't walk out of there thinking like, I gotta get this cut now.
Yeah.
Like, thank goodness.
Calling you guys nerds and shit.
Maybe he did, but he didn't to their faces, which means a lot. In prior years, I'm willing to bet that there are plenty of sergeants major that would have let Marine Corps Gaming know exactly how he felt. So, and I would like to believe that our current sergeant major of the Marine Corps, he is the type that would say what he believes about something like that.
We've had him on the show.
Yeah, if
he
he
definitely doesn't pull punches.
If he felt strongly that this was a waste of Marines' efforts or focus, I think he would have told us that. But I think that they see the value. Like we aim to bring the same amount of we aim for the same level of distraction and pull away from the primary job as any other Marine. Marine sport.
Here's the interesting aspect of that, though. I guess going back to what I was alluding to with this but this emphasis now on wargaming and getting reps and sets in the digital spaces. Other all-Marine sports that everyone sort of just acknowledges, like golf is a great example. Fucking love golf, played golf, great. Do calls on the golf course and stuff. But there's no other, you could say like, we're going to do land nav or terrain appreciation, right? To sort of find a met.
It's very overt of like, we're here to play golf. We're here to play basketball. We're here to wrestle.
Yeah, and there's no there's no overlay. Like there's no linkage to your actual, like your mission essential tasks.
Yes.
This actually is something completely different. So what you guys are doing, right? I mean, I'm not. I don't want to like be melodramatic about it, but I mean, you guys are getting reps and sets by doing this stuff. There's a direct translation to this all-Marine team to tactical performance and proficiency, right?
I would say that yes. I wouldn't want to. I can't gloss over the value of like the wrestling team.
But that's why I didn't mention
better,
boxing or
right?
wrestling.
Yeah, but yeah, if we're comparing
shooting.
it more to to golf or to basketball, really the only intersection is that I'm aware of is the physical fitness aspect of it.
And
like
teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yeah. And I don't want to overspeak the value of like playing Halo or Call of Duty to actually doing lanes or Mount Town.
Yeah, you're not
for
gonna
infantry,
replace
right?
the Range 400 series with.
I will write the white paper to say we should not do that if that ever gets pitched. But I do think that the camaraderie, the teamwork, the communications, there is intrinsic value in having a mind that's good at video game communications where you're trying to win, not just have a good time, but like when you're trying to win an event, there's nothing wrong with it, and there's everything good about being good at these things. So like our pro coach for the first event, Coach Hoaxer, shout out to him, shout out to Emmanuel. He said when I asked him in the interview for the article, I was like, so what was it like working with like Marines that are absolute amateurs versus, he works with top talent in like the Halo community, top talent. He coach of the year, like Cloud9, which is one of the most like recognizable gaming organizations out there. And what he said to me was, it was great and it was refreshing and it was new because like when you work with professionals in like a gaming and esports realm, a lot of them already know what they want to do. And as a coach, it's hard to work with, like, you got 4 strong personalities that like they're like they do this for a living.
Very set in their ways.
Yeah, they're like, I'm a top 10 player in this realm. Like, I don't need a coach, right? I just need you to keep time. And he was like, when I was working with Marine Corps Gaming, he was like, I tell them to do something and they're like on it, Roger, and they just like moved out. Like they take orders, move out. And that was something that like that's really where the Marines, on our first team ever, they really took. We had recruiters, we had intel, we had comms Marines, and then myself, like signals intelligence, right? But what we all had in common was the desire to listen, like shoot, move, communicate, and to just be told like what's our objective, and what is, if we treat coach like he's higher headquarters, what does higher headquarters want? And all these different MOSs were able to homogenize and work towards this goal. So yeah, again, don't want to overspeak it, but I think that it's hard to say it doesn't have that like mental reps and sets value.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then how, like, where are you guys at now? So we had talked. So like you're talking the MAR admin.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, for those who don't know, when there's a MAR admin that comes out, there's already a line of accounting for this thing, because you obviously don't want to get a bunch of people volunteering for something and then, like you said, like, where are we going to put them? How are we going to pay for them? Like,
yes.
So the fact that there's a MAR admin means that Headquarters Marine Corps is dedicating a funding stream to bring these people from across the FMF together to do an event. So that's amazing. What challenges outside of that? Like, obviously it's not it's not just about money, it's all about money.
Yes.
But what else have you guys run into? Like, is command support, for example, because obviously the commands need to release these people.
Yeah, so I think we have so far been blessed. If there's some wood, I'd like to knock on it before I say this, but we have been blessed that we have not had a command say no yet. We have not had a Marine that's like a one of one, like I need this guy for this game because he's like a phenom. But also in the mission space as a Marine, he's also a one of one, or she's like so critical to this mission, or she's deployed, that kind of thing. We have not had it happen yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
Right. Which is one of the things that that Dave, our new Marine Corps gaming director, something that he's doing great is that he's moving to contact before these are problems, and we are legitimizing in ways that hopefully should deconflict these. So number one, orders, not trying to hold anybody accountable with like the UCMJ, but like orders that say like you are a Marine Corps athlete, like under MCCS. Here is your application. Here's your Semper Fit application. Get it signed by your command so they know you're trying to go to these things, so that when it comes up, it's not a first heard for them. And then when we ask, it's like, hey, you already said that you're okay with your Marine being a Semper Fit all Marine athlete. We're just asking for a week of their time. We're asking for a weekend of their time.
Right.
Like, help us work with you. Previously, prior to Dave signing on, I definitely did some engagements to help smooth over things with senior enlisted. And I did that, a gunnery sergeant calling over, talking to either like a master sergeant or a first sergeant, sometimes like a gunny as well. Just being like, hey, brother, hey, man, just want to let you know, like, you're going to get an email from me. Like, I know we haven't met, but I want to let you know, like, this is a legitimate thing. You would be right to question it. Like, I'm sure this seems like spam, but I want you to know, like, that your Marine is on this team, and we think that he or she can really help us win this. Like, and we want them, like, please give us 5 days, put them on PTAD orders. And, there's been what I would call understandable hesitation at first, but after smoothing it over, we have never had a problem up to this point of like getting the team that we want out there. So commands have been, so long as you start with that interpersonal, you do the right things on the front end so that they feel like this is legitimate. I'm not signing my Marine over to waste taxpayer dollars. I'm signing them over for like, this is value added. So there's that. There's we're talking constraints or like concerns, right? Maybe not problems, but so one thing that I think we've discovered is that as every step of progress we've made, we've been very thankful for, right? From the program that Ian Mills took over to what we are right now, we're just so happy from where we've started to where we've come. But one thing that we've established as maybe a concern that we hope to flesh out with MCCS and really just everybody is that like our esports team is not just one team, but we would understand if like from a budgetary standpoint, they see esports is esports, and it's like one category. But when you break that out for like, what does that mean to Marine Corps gaming? We're trying to compete in multiple games. So this year we're doing Apex Legends. So it is cycling from Halo. It's been Halo the last 2 years, There's been Halo 2 years and then Call of Duty,
right.
and then now it's going to be Apex. And then there's also been the Code Bowl, paid for by USAA. So that one is much more lower impact when it comes to money. There's always been the Code Bowl, like the Madden tournament, I think also put on by, I don't want to take a guess at who it is, but the Madden tournament that's put on for the free tickets to the Super Bowl. And Marine Corps Gaming it's easy to go to those ones because they're free.
Sure.
It's put on by the hosting organization. So we pay for the one that is the Armed Forces Esports Championship. And the next one's going to be Apex. So obviously we're ready for that. We have money for that. And a little bit left over for the Code Bowl. This is about to show a little bit of bias because I'm the Halo team captain, right? But like, what about the games that we're already playing? Like, what about the one, like golf doesn't cycle from like one form of golf to another.
Right.
The golf team is the golf team is the golf team.
Right.
Every year over year. The basketball doesn't change from like 3v3 to 5v5. Like it's still the same players.
Right.
And in theory, it's a good retention tool because the same Marines, until they feel that urge of like, maybe I've aged out, I'm too old for this. Like if they look forward to that year, like if it's their most exciting time of that year, they're going to look forward to it next year, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
They're like, I can't wait. I got to stay in shape for the basketball team, for the wrestling team. If esports cycles every year, I don't think that it works as a retention tool. Now, obviously, there's still the publicity. There's the recruitment aspect of like, oh, you don't have to give up running. You can continue to run because we have a running team. You don't have to give up wrestling. We have a wrestling team. We send people to the Olympics for wrestling. That's a recruitment tool. It's a passive recruitment tool, right?
Right.
But it's really retention, too. We want Marines to feel like if you've got a hobby, you don't have to give it up to join the Marine Corps. If we cycle every year from one game to another, everything I just said goes out the window, right? So, like, if the Halo team doesn't have funding the following year, that means, like, that team, not that this is happening, but in theory, a team could, like, fall apart. Marines EAS, and this has happened. I've had Marines EAS.
Mm-hmm.
I have Marines. They move on, and like Halo isn't even a consideration in their brain. Whereas like I know I have members of my team that have talked about like they're kind of teetering, and they're like, I really like doing this, and I've fielded this question from one of my teammates. I won't dime out which one it is, but they were like, hey, if I stay in the reserves, can I still be in Marine Corps Gaming? Like, can I still apply for the All-Marine team? And I was like, absolutely.
Oh, interesting.
And I think that that's, like, the fact that I'm getting asked that question means that it's a consideration.
Yeah.
And I've also told another Marine who did decide to EAS. I was like, he was asking me, I should have said they. Yeah, he was asking me, hey, can I do this from the IRR? And I was like, unfortunately, like that's a step too far. We're not going to pull someone off of like, essentially you're out of the military, right? Not to come back and play. But I was like, look, don't let Halo be a reason. Like it needs to be, if you're on the fence and you want to flip a coin, sure, use Halo, but don't let that convince you past, you got a job lined up and you got to get out. Like, don't let it be a sole reason. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, I know I'm kind of rabbit holing off that one, but that is a problem we've
that's our show.
Foundation is on rabbit holes. Yeah. Well, that's really fascinating because I did have one of my questions I did want to ask was how could someone join? And so that was extremely informative.
Yeah. So one of the ways that maybe not directly addressing this issue, but one thing that we have stood on that our director is very adamant on is that we're not just going to be an org that rotates. We'll put out we're not just going to like field a team for just the next great thing and then like forget about the last team.
Right. You guys turn into pumpkins.
Yeah. Because we're not going to, it's just not sustainable and it doesn't do what we're talking about. So one thing is we're competing in 5 games, like competitively intend to compete in 5 games. And those 5 games are obviously Halo Infinite, Call of Duty, which the most recent iteration just came out of that, Valorant, Apex Legends, and the one non-shooter of the black sheep of the group is Rocket League. So we are going to have competitive teams in all 5 of those games. And it's on those team captains. If you are not the ones that are for the All Marine Esports or the All Service Esports event, it's on us team captains to, maintain our team, keep them together, find unique creative opportunities like online tournaments, they're cost free. And to keep that eye out for like, hey, is your team that competitive that we should look for funding elsewhere to
non-DoD sponsored events sort of thing.
Yeah, like to quote my director, I hope I do justice to his words. If it's like the playoffs or the Super Bowl of your sport and you think you've got a team of those guys and gals, then tell me and we can have that conversation. But this year we know we're competing in Apex, and then the Code Bowl, USAA is still going to put the Code Bowl on, so our Call of Duty team knows what they're going to do. And the other teams, we're staying competitive. We stay in the scene. We play together, and we look for opportunities to play.
Are you guys capped?
We are
personnel.
So,
do you have a TO?
We do not have a TO, but we do have what's called kind of like the starting team and what we call an academy team. The proper terms from our Team Red and Team Black. And they correspond to our jerseys of our official jersey for Marine Corps Gaming is a very vibrant, it's scarlet red jersey. So our red teams are our starters, and then the black team is what we used to call like the academy teams, kind of like your practice squad to use an NFL reference, right? They're the guys waiting in the wings, but also they're the hungry ones that are hoping to prove that maybe they should be considered for the starting roster. And it's good to have. I know for my Halo team, there's been plenty of times that like, hey, I've got one that's on my starting roster. She is our bronze medal winner and also like 2-time player for both Halo events. She is deployed right now. So obviously she can't be playing as much, right? Or ideally not at all. But I will never kick off someone from my team because they're deployed, right? But that means that when an event comes up right now, I'm looking around, who's the best from my academy team, right? So my team is capped at 10, right? But if the day comes that I've got 12, 15 people that want to play, like that's a good problem to have. Right? Yeah. I know the numbers are different for each game. I think Apex, there's only 3 starters and 3 on their academy team because the game is played with 3, right? So, but each team is so there's like a soft cap, but that's for the all Marine teams. When it comes to Marine Corps Gaming, we are still looking to be like a community. So whether it's 100, 1,000, whether you play a game that is not one of our competitive, I'm using air quotes, competitive all Marine teams, we want to have communities in other games too. So like a good example is Marvel Rivals is the one that just came. Like that is the new hotness right now, right? We had some people in our Discord server. I don't know if I need to describe
I know what Discord is.
Okay, very nice. So we had some people in our Discord like, hey, does Marine Corps Gaming have a Marvel Rivals thread or like a team that we can start? And we were like, in our leadership chat, we were talking like, well, we don't. But we could, like if there's demand signal. So we started a thread and I see people in there. And the intention is like, there's now a place where Marines, whether all Marine or not, they can be like, hey, I'm playing tonight, looking for 3. Does anybody want to start like an MCG run tonight? Like, can we all play together? And that's what we'll do that for any game. We've had people ask about like Rainbow Six, which is not on our roster, but it's a very competitive game in the esports world. If there's enough of that demand signal, we can first, it takes nothing to start a thread and see if Marines want to play together. But from there, if we've got 5 just like killers in this game, like top rank, and they can prove it to us like non-Rainbow Six players, I don't see why we couldn't be like, let's get them to an event. Yeah. Let's represent the Marine Corps. So that's really the process.
And so and so how would someone is it that simple? Is that getting plugged into your guys' threads?
The number one thing I would say is if you play video games, I don't care if you believe like any good Marine should, I am the best at this game, I'm the best in this lobby. Whether you identify as that or like, man, I suck at this game, I just want to order some pizza, like put some drinks back, and just play as my decompression.
Yeah.
No matter where you fall on those two extremes of the spectrum, if you're active duty or reserve, like we want them to join the server, like tell the Discord server which games are you interested in, and then just like keep tabs on them. Like see if other Marines want to play, because it is we want it to be a space for like if you are still in the military. And you know, we've had discussions about like what are we going to do about like, you know, veteran, EAS, retirees. We do not intend to forsake them. Never will we ever, right? But this is for
you're building a recruiting pool, though.
Yeah.
Right? So if
it's a talent pool,
right? If they're not going to be able to make the team, then
yeah. And we've definitely talked about like we still want to have like when I do a community play day, whether they're like veteran or active duty, we want them to come out. But when it comes to like tryouts, active duty, reserve, But we really wanted to be a place like you're still in the Marine Corps. We want this to be a place where all gamers, whether you're suck, whether you're great, come to our community play dates, like show that demand signal and compete.
And how do you get to that Discord thread?
So it is the Marine Corps Gaming Discord. So they can see it on our Twitter. I will have to verify that it's on our Instagram. But we are also very active on both of those social media platforms.
Okay.
If they're having any problems getting to it, or if I'm wrong and they're not on the profiles for those, send a direct message to them. I know the two individuals that run those accounts, and they're very responsive. So,
and we'll put all that stuff in the show description.
Very
so
good.
That people can find you guys and link that up. How I guess final question. This is so great. I could probably be here another hour. But what is your guys' like? Has anybody from like the MCU or Neller Center or Warfighting Lab reached out to you guys for any sort of like co-op sort of?
Not yet. However, we have an inroad and a pending meeting with somebody that I don't want to drop their title because it's premature, but there is somebody there is interest from the organizations that you're talking about, and it is on our mid-range target list of like we got to get that meeting set up. It'll be we're identifying who on our end are we going to have sit down, and they're going to identify who on their end, and we're going to talk about like where are the intersections of their interests and ours.
Yeah.
So like when the MAR admin on the Marine Corps proprietary wargaming, I don't know if you saw that, but there was a MAR admin that came out soliciting for wargaming. It was turn-based strategy, proprietary. My understanding is it's proprietary to the Marine Corps. They wanted Marines from across the force sign up, play this game. Here's the game manual. Like it was like I was like, oh my Lord, this is like it's like learning. I thought it was going to be something simple, right? Because I love Rome.
I think we've had him on the show, but the creative littoral commander Sebastian Bay.
That might have.
I think I know. Yeah, I saw the game. MAR admin you're talking about.
It's a hex turn-based.
Yeah, so I think that was. I think that's what.
Yeah, the commandant really saw it at Modern Day Marine and was like, "This is the shiz."
So
I think that's a direct quote, actually.
So when we saw that in Marine Corps Gaming's Discord, we put it out. We're like we used an all Discord announcement, like, hey, you know, gamers, like if you're willing to do this, this is going to help feed information for the Marine Corps. Like you can both play a game and help with the direction of the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got a lot of interest. Like you're soliciting to the perfect group, because we've already got this Discord of thousands of Marines that are interested in. They've already raised their hand and said, I'm interested in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting intersection, but it was very indirect. It was a one-way thing. They put it out to the whole Marine Corps, and we as Marine Corps Gaming latched on and released it internally. There was no like two-way communication on that one. But we're hoping that there can be more of that, right? Like that, and that's what we hope to establish moving forward.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things I was sort of alluding to when we're talking about some of the other all Marine sports teams is that once you're done golfing, you're done golfing. Or once you're done playing basketball, like clearly there's some
teamwork,
benefits
physical
to
fitness,
to it. But I mean, once you're done with the game, you're done with the game. Or when you're done with the tournament, you either hoist the trophy or you don't. Others, like we talk about wrestling or boxing or shooting team, those you can find Mets that translate. This seems like that's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool, man. I hope really I'm pushing for you
Yeah.
guys, not just because I'm a dinosaur gamer, but we were talking pre-show, like introduced my kids to Civilization 6, and once we got Ruble 6, aka my wife, on board with it, it's now
Yeah.
part of like our homeschool curriculum.
Good.
Like there are
Man.
there's the learning objectives here that really help with more than just like a release or a place to sort of break free from the churn.
Yeah.
And so cool, man.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming down.
You'll keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Let us know what's going on.
I will be sure to let you guys know
Yeah.
how it goes with the upcoming tournament.
100, yeah.
Which
yeah.
is when?
That is in May.
Okay.
So that is the next Armed Forces Esports Championship is in May.
And where is that at?
That should be in Dallas, Texas.
Ooh,
Again,
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So I will keep you guys posted. You will
Excellent.
absolutely know.
100%. And then, yeah, like I said, we'll get all these links to all your guys' stuff in the show description. Anything else do you want our listeners to know about for you guys to help raise awareness or membership or anything like that? Like, did I miss anything?
No, I think I said it already, but so I guess I'll just beat a horse dead
To
on
glue,
this
yeah,
one.
do it.
Yeah, do it.
So if you are in the Marine Corps, active duty or reserve, and if you like playing video games, it doesn't matter which one. I don't care if it's
Even Mortal
online
Kombat?
chess. Even as we
1992
do not
version.
we don't have any competitive players in Mortal Kombat, and it is a competitive scene. That is one I will
Yeah.
I will never tread foot in there till I can defend
It's
myself.
a critical vulnerability of Marine esports.
But
Marine
if you are still in, please join our Discord. Come check it out. We also are looking to go live more on like Twitch and stream. Like
Okay,
just
nice.
log in, come by, say like give us some good luck, send good vibes. Like tonight, my Halo team will be joining the Navy's MWR Halo Infinite tournament. We will be putting out it on our over our social media. So just come by, whether it's the Halo, the Call of Duty team, the Apex team, even if these don't interest you, just come by, say hi, follow our social media, and just help us build this community because we
Love
want
it.
more Marines to know
Yeah.
it's not only okay to play video games, it is endorsed to some level that Marines play video games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you guys got a funding stream, man.
Yeah.
There's no other way the Marine Corps can show support for something other than giving you a funding line of accounting. Well, this is so great. Also, check out Leatherneck Magazine.
Yeah.
Blood
So
Yes,
we had your
absolutely.
article ran a year and a half ago,
Mhm.
and then the January cover story was all about esports.
Yeah, look at these strapping Marines on the front.
I
That's
know,
tremendous.
Smart uniforms.
So and before you go, since I couldn't really ask any intelligent questions about the topic at hand, I'm going to ask my trademark sign-off question.
I was warned about this one.
Which is, what was your best day in the Marine Corps so far?
So, and thank you for helping prep the battle space in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one. I had a little time to think.
Yeah.
I have settled on my best day because it's the one that sticks out the most to me is on my second deployment. I was in Syria, and for the Defeat ISIS campaign,
Alright.
we were out there laying hate and discontent to bad people, right? And I remember the day that our partners and allies they made the decision that ISIS has been degraded to the point that they are no longer their so-called caliphate, their fake nation, no longer exists. That they have lost all of their land, and they were going to make a big announcement about it. And as you know, my little team of SIGINTers were very tied into this mission, very emotionally invested, along with our joint force friends and our host nation allies. We're all very excited, right? And I still am. I'm addicted to this energy drink called NOS. And it's very hard to get in the middle of Syria, oddly
Yeah,
enough.
I
So
can
whenever the PX trucks would come out, I would buy up whatever there was. And I kept one in reserve that I wrote on it with a Sharpie that said, "For Defeat ISIS Day." And I was like, I'm drinking this last one on the day that we declare that we have defeated ISIS. And I remember that day, our allies decided we've done it. mission accomplished as far as like the land war.
Yeah,
now, obviously, anybody who's thinking like, what does he mean defeat ISIS? Like, I'm not saying they're gone forever.
Yeah.
Clearly,
not the ideological war yet.
but we, as far as like they are no longer a scourge on the map, like with a physical presence that they think is their own. Like defeat ISIS Day, it finally came in the middle of my second deployment, and I remember that sensation of like mission accomplished, and it was not just mission accomplished because we had accomplished other missions before, but that one was such like a long grinding one. Not just my debt, we inherited the work of the debt before us, like the work of the people we were attached to, like our army counterparts, and like it was like I felt like I had accomplished when I walked into the recruiter's office, like again following Gunny Proby into the office for the first time, like the posters and like the Marines covered in like war paint, and like that's what I want to do. Like I want to be that Marine out on the like the knife's edge, right? I felt like I was like, this is why I joined. Like I am doing what I joined for. Yeah. And I never got that on my first deployment because it was a plainclothes deployment. So I lived in a bit of a lap of luxury. So but my second deployment, really, it just all came together, and like and that's the moment I'm going to ascribe to. That was my favorite part of that deployment.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
Awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, you're on the edge of the forward edge, and you're using terms like PX truck.
The PX truck, yeah. not knowing where we're going to use the bathroom.
Yes. This is so great, Gunny. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. This has been awesome.
Making the drive down through the NCR, man. They were easy. So really appreciate everything, and we're gonna definitely keep our eyes on you guys and be rooting you on.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Mark your calendar. Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric Smith, delivers his keynote in Modern Day Marine on May 1st at 1300. Hear directly from the top on priorities, challenges, and the future of the Corps. You won't want to miss it. Free for active duty personnel. Register now at MarineMilitaryExpos.com. That's MarineMilitaryExpos.com. We would like to thank the Marine Corps Association and Modern Day Marine for sponsoring this episode. Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. You have heard the voices or contributions from Major Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Lichman, William Truding, and our guest. Ty Frazier is the editor, sound engineer, and technical producer. The Marine Corps Association is not an agency of the U.S. government. The opinions expressed in this episode are the personal views of the participants and do not reflect the official position of the United States Marine Corps, the Department of Defense, or the Marine Corps Association.